We all admire legends, the ones who conquered the impossible, the ones who stood alone, the ones who became more than men. But here's what no one tells you. Legends are not born in success, they're born in collapse. They rise from failure, from silence, from rejection, doubt, and destruction. And if you're in that place right now, this video is for you. Because Carl Jung didn't define greatness by strength or intellect. He defined it by integration, by the man you become after you've met the darkest parts of yourself and kept going. This is Deionos, where timeless philosophy becomes a weapon in modern war. Before we start, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let's begin. You see the final image, the statue, the applause, the after photo, but what you don't see is what came before. The anxiety attacks, the debt, the betrayal, the night he almost quit. Most men want the result. Few are willing to die for the transformation. Carl Jung said, "The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. But the greatest burden a man carries is the unlived version of himself, the one he keeps avoiding." Da Vinci is remembered as a genius, but did you know he abandoned over 80% of the projects he started? The Battle of Anghiari, unfinished. The Adoration of the Magi, unfinished. The Gran Cavallo, never completed. He was mocked. He was seen as inconsistent. Some said he lacked discipline, but Jung would have disagreed. Because Da Vinci wasn't chasing perfection, he was in a state of becoming. His work was less about completion and more about obsession and individuation. Carl Jung said, "You must let go of who you were to become who you are." And through that internal war, Da Vinci became timeless. Jung taught that to become whole, a man must descend, not rise first, descend into failure, into shadow, into the parts of himself he doesn't want to see. This descent, the fall, is where legends are made. Because down there, there's no performance, no mask, just you and the parts of you that have been waiting to be integrated. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Before Abraham Lincoln became a name etched in stone, he lost his job, his business, his run for Congress, his fiancée, his mind. He had a documented breakdown. He was called unfit, weak, broken, but Lincoln kept writing, kept thinking, kept evolving. He used the failures to strip away who he wasn't until only the essential remained. He said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." He wasn't sharpening tools. He was sharpening himself. That's the real legend arc. Jung didn't define heroism by external conquest. He defined it as the man who faces his shadow, his rage, envy, apathy, his lust, his weakness, and does not run. He famously wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." The man who becomes a legend is not the man who wins. It's the man who integrates and becomes indivisible. He may still fall, but he cannot be broken because he's made peace with everything he used to fear inside himself. So how does it happen? How does a man become a legend? Not in theory, but in action. I will give you the 5-step blueprint. 1. He descends before he rises. You must allow the collapse. Don't resist the fall. Mine the ruin for truth. 2. He sees through the praise and the silence. Most men break under applause. You must remain centered, whether they worship you or ghost you. 3. He returns to himself daily, through journaling, through solitude, through one hard promise kept. Legend isn't a leap, it's a slow return. 4. He makes his pain serve something. Channel the heartbreak. Channel the failure. Give your wounds a job. Don't wallow in them. Weaponize them. 5. He moves when no one's watching. No fanfare. No audience. No reward. Only alignment. That's what separates legends from performers. Most men never become legends. Not because they lacked talent, but because they feared silence. They couldn't sit with failure. They chased noise. They confused attention with validation, and validation with meaning. But legends, they disappear to rebuild, and when they return, they don't beg to be seen. They simply are. Richard Nixon said, "A man is not finished when he is defeated. He is finished when he quits." Theodore Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena." Khalil Gibran said, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." You were put on this earth to do something great, but first, you must become someone great. The pain you're in now, it's not a punishment, it's the portal, and what you're becoming depends on what you choose to do when it feels like you've lost everything. You can collapse, or you can forge. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." That privilege doesn't come from comfort. It comes from collapse, from fire, from rising alone. They won't remember you because you never failed. They'll remember you because you kept rising, even when no one was watching. This is how legends are made. This is Deionos. Subscribe, watch, awaken, and become the man you were born to be.